Gold T Money here again, showing you a couple of our bucket plans, which is spiral wheel bucket. It will act a combination of a trommel and a spiral wheel, and these tubs you can purchase at your Granger or other operation stores like that have larger supplies for farming, industrial equipment and such. So that's what you see there with the two rounded bucket looking things. So we'll set this up, working on the metal right now as far as the base and the actual motor to operate it, and then we'll also work on the water part. As you see, the holes are already placed in them, and there's your spiral, and the tubing you can get anywhere at 3/4 inch, 1.5 inch, whatever size you'd like. We find that this anywhere between your 3/4 inch tubing work really well. So I'll show you under here. We have the actual motor, and this is your 2.5 horse. These can be taken off almost any of the exercise treadmills you see on the side of the road, and about anybody and everybody know where they could probably find one of these. You can get them for, $20-30 used, and inside you just take the bottom off the treadmill and you will find one of these motors, and they run 1.5 to 3 horse, and they're excellent for this type of operation. So we will be designing a frame, and that frame the metal frame will have the gears, and that motor will operate this. So as you see, it's a bucket spiral wheel. So that's going to be our new design. We'll have this going in the next 4, 5, 6 months. We are, like I said, working on the motor part. The water, we already have that all established. And what I wanted to show you was our sample pan. This is very easy to make. Your sample sluice, it can be made out of a couple of 3, you can make it 3-4 foot, a couple of 3-inch or 4-inch board slat pine, and then just a plastic piece. You can get anywhere, typical sheet of plastic, 3-4 foot long, and all you'll do is you'll just take the plastic and you'll bend it. You just heat it. So you'll take a torch, and we heat a tube, and then we'll just set it on the edge of that tube, heat the whole tube up with your propane torch. You can get these anywhere, typically around plumbing area, and heat the tube up, and then just bend your plastic to whatever height you'd like. Cut it to any shape. You can flange it out on the ends if you want, or you can just square it 90, very simple. And then we just take a glue, we put that on the side, we'll put a couple bolts through that so we'll have something to attach. And then you can use any kind of rail metal. Again, this is all DYI. You just use your rail metal that you'll find about anywhere. You can get some pieces at any metal places or Home Depot, and you'll just cut it to fit to the wood, and that will hold your matting down such. And in here, hard to see, but it's a matting that's it's a very fine miner's moss mat, and then on the front end you'll see your hog mat, and you can use any type. And we run this to sample. We're looking for black sand, and we'll catch some gold up here up front, but we're just turning this on the diamond. So your expanded metal, again, pick this up over at Home Depot, $6 a sheet, and works really well for sampling. And this, most times you're going to make this, it's going to Be real simple to make. I put a handle on the sides. I made a smaller one. This is about 4 foot, and you'll go about 12, 14 pounds. If you make the 3 foot a little lighter, I like the 4 foot. Anyway, it gives you a little better flow in the front end there, and then we just, on the front of that mat, we'll use some Gorilla Tape, 2-inch Gorilla Tape, and then we'll have our input there, and then we use just, you know, just like I said, sampling. Just lay it in the water, and put it here and there, wherever, go around. A little easier to use this than the pan, and usually, you know, if you see some color, you'll know where your gold's at and where your gold isn't. And if you want to classify and use your pan, that's, yeah, it's another way. Just to me, a little more tedious. This is really easy to tote. You can pick it up, put a handle if you want, and you can tote it down to the stream and lay it in there, and just bring your samples over to it, and works really well. Pick up some colors, you know where your gold is, and you know, it's that easy. So like I said, it's not very heavy, very easy to build. And these, I have a set of plans for these too, but most people can see what that's about. It's just a piece of plastic. You heat up tube, bend the plastic on the sides, piece of wood, little metal. All you'll do with the metal is drill some holes in the corners there. I have some handle rail. This is higher, so your top end, your water will go under this, and maybe you can see it's raised up a bit, so I'm sure you can see that there. And so you have the water going through this channel, and right through there is 1.5 inches. So if you put the water right at the top of that, give yourself a, you know, 3/4 inch to a foot, you should be right on. The water would come right up under the bottom of this rail right here, and that'll give you plenty of water. Pick it up to about 3/4 inch over the metal there, the galvy, and like I said, you'll come right through there, and you'll see that gold catch right on that edge, and right at the edge of that mat, we'll just run some tape right across there, and we'll just work along, you know, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, and map it out on a piece of paper where we find some color. And then, you know, at the end of the day, we'll pull that tape, and these screws, we just screw it in really quick. So it's real simple to put 4 screws in, and that'll hold that bar down. And that, of course, holds your mat and your galvy. And like I said, you can't see that well under there, but it's same thing as minor moss, basically. Very fine. It's actually door mat material. Like I said in the other video, it's about $10 a piece. It's a rectangle, 2 foot by 3 foot. So it's very inexpensive. It's about half the weave of a miner's moss, but basically it is just a finer miner's moss. It catches the flake, the flower gold very well. So it's great material. And this front edge, so you see about a foot piece. It's a little darker if you can pick that up. That's your gold hog mat. We use that on pieces here and there, whether it's the high banker, or we'll cut pieces and fit. So there again's your sampling sluice. Very simple. Shouldn't cost you more than 20, 30 bucks to make that. I mean, it tops, I don't know where you're going to buy things, but maybe 40 bucks. You don't have to use that a gold hog. You can also just use this other mat, or just for sampling, you could use a lot of things to catch your gold. You'll see some color up front, so if you run enough through, a couple of buckets here and there, wherever you're sampling, you'll be able to pick it up right on the front edge usually. As long as your water's coming through there right, you'll I think it's a lot easier than the pan. But then again, we use the pan too. Just depending how convenient it is, how far away we are from placing the sample sluice down. So anyway, there's that. And again, this is just a proto. We're working on this. Once we have the bottom built for the motor, we've already got the water, all of those plans set up. And once we get it up and running, this one's going to be out there a little bit. We're working on the other wheels right now. We will we'll get a running video on this so you can see, and I'll explain where to get used things. You can get used, like I said, those motors off a treadmill. And in anybody, 20, 30 bucks, you can get somebody to weld you a little frame up. We'll have a plan for that. And then the barrel part. This is just water hose, so you get that at all the garden centers. They're the ones that come out to your house, you know, the big companies. They'll bring this hose and they'll run it around to feed the trees and whatnot. And so this hosing is relatively cheap. And usually the garden people that come out, you can go to the sites where they're installing, and they might give you 20, 30 feet of it. 3/4 to an inch hosing. And then, like I said, these tubes you get at Granger. There's a lot of industrial companies that have these type of, these are loading bins. So again, quick shot at the spiral wheel bucket. And a quick shot at just a simple operation to make this sample sluice. So there you go, Gold Team money. Look forward to our videos. If you want to check in later, we're going to be putting some videos out at some places we've been, where we're going. We'll usually go through a few different states, so pick up on some of our sites that we've been pulling a fair amount of gold at, and we'll show you some of those. Anyway, Gold Team money out.